Hey guys, let's have some fun again today. Oh, I don't know, let's call it Powershell fun, just for the sake of it, right? I got Jen over here making faces at me. Anyway, so today we're gonna play with detaching databases and the methods around them, and it's actually pretty cool. It solves one of our nice little problems here. So you can see here I'm at the local host. I'm at the local database context, not at the instance context, but at the server context, right? So I'm going to do the same thing I always do. I'm going to set a equal to directory, and then I'm going to do a get member on a, and let's look at what we have for detaching our databases method-wise. So here I have a simple detached database. I have a detached database info, and I have, where is it down here, enumerate detached database files and enumerate detached log files. So we're going to do 3 of these methods today, right? So let's go ahead and start with detached database, because that's the simplest one, and it's going to set us up for the rest of it, okay? So let me see here. Let me get this at the top for you. There we go. So detached database, you can see here that it takes 2 parameters, right? It takes a database name as a string. That's easy enough. And then a Boolean value for update stats, as to whether or not you want it to go ahead and update the stats when you detach it. We're going to say no, right? So this is easy enough. So let's get back down here. And now we've got our instance of A. So we'll just say detached database. Go ahead and do our brackets now. We got to set the database name. It's going to be DB4 in this case. And we're going to pass it a Boolean value of cache false, because we don't want it to update stats. Hit enter. There we go. Let's see if that detached. DB4 is right here, and DB4 is gone. So it did detach. Now, and that was easy. There's nothing really else to say about that. Now the problem comes with, oh no, what am I going to do? I don't know where all the database files were, right? And you're sitting there going, it's okay. I know how to get it back for you. Let's go back up here and look at the method list again. And remember, we were talking about enumerate database detached files right there. So what that does is that you pass it the string value, right, of the MDF file. So you have to know where the MDF is, where the primary file is. And after that, it'll query the MDF and ask it where all the other files are, and it'll give you the paths and the files of all the files that database is expecting, right? So that's enum detached database files. So that sounds easy enough. Let's see here. If I go a dot files, and what did I say? It took a string of the file path, right? So we have here, we have DB4, DB4A, DB4B. So I'll come here and say / my DBs, just like that. And there we go. That's very simple. We have a string of all of the files that database is expecting. Now we can go out there and see whether all the paths exist, whether all the drives have enough space. We can see if all the files are even there, right? You could add some pretty rich stuff to this. For each one of those, you could add some logic in there that says, now go out there and check that the file exists. Okay, so that's enumerate detached database files. Now we got to do the same thing, only for the log files, because you notice how there are 2 log files here. There's log and there's log2, but none of the log files showed up in here, right? So I believe that was log files. We're going to take a chance. And what was that? DB4 underscore log LDF. Okay. That's going to end LDF db4 underscore log. Okay, let's go back up and see what it wants. Let's see, underscore log. Oh, enumerate, there we go. Detach database log files. And I can't really get... oh, here it is, log files is this one right here. There we go. And I can't really see that whole thing, so I can't see what it's looking for. So we're going to have to look at this a different way. So we're going to have to say a get member, pass that on to aware, name equals, do that, log files, pipe that to a format list instead. Oh, what did I'm not calling it the right thing. Enumerate detached log files. Okay, fine. There we go. Okay, so let's see what it's looking for. Okay, so you can see here that we passed it the wrong file name. That, here I'm pointing at the screen with my finger again, like you can follow along. It's looking for a string, that's fine, but you notice how here it's looking for the logs, but it wants us to pass in the MDF again. So, let's get back to that call. There we go. MDF. Detached log files. And there we go. Now we have our list of log files. And it's really that easy. So working with detached files, you get a little bit more. There's a detached database info method that I'll let you discover on your own, but it's up there in the method list. And that's all I got. Maybe next time we'll talk about attaching files.